Hello, my name is Rick Boulay, and I'm the president of Killeen Educators Association and of Region 10 of the Texas State Teachers Association. I'd like to welcome you to our Killeen ISD School Board of Trustees Candidate Forum. I'm very pleased to be your moderator for today's discussion. Enshrined in the Constitution is one of the most important functions that we can perform: our ability to select the officials that make the decisions on how the district operates through our vote. It's through this process that we make our voices and wishes known as to how we wish the education of our children to ultimately proceed in Killeen ISD. The level of material support the district provides, the quality and condition of its facilities, the safety of its buses and equipment, how its educators and support professionals are compensated and treated in the workplace. All of these things and more are provided through the election of those serving on the Board of Trustees. We're here to have a conversation with those who are seeking positions on the board for places 6 and 7. Our goal is to learn more about their stances on positions that directly impact students and those who help make their education possible, how they think, and how they would approach the challenges that face KISD as we continue into the future. We encourage you to listen to their responses as many times as you need and give careful consideration to whom you wish to lead the district forward. Most of all, we highly encourage you to use your power to vote. A voice that remains silent is a voice that gives up control over its fate. We want you, the viewer, to know that the questions for tonight's conversation were selected in advance. All the questions will be put to all the candidates to answer so that you may make your own comparisons and draw your own conclusions. The Executive Board of Killeen Educators Association has not made any decisions regarding potential endorsements and will not make them prior to the conclusion and publishing of this forum in its entirety. It's the moment we've all been waiting for, the last question. And I will have Mr. Adams, we'll just go right down that order. And it's basically your shot. If there's anything that you feel we haven't covered tonight, you get a couple of minutes to talk about that. So we'll start with Mr. Adams and go right down the line to finish out.
I think we've covered a whole lot. So I'm sitting there thinking, we all care. We all have the qualities to be good board members. But I consider myself an active, engaging person. So we didn't talk about how much we will be out and about in the week where we did indirectly. So I would like to see us all succeed, no matter who is on the board. But definitely put me there. So, but I believe that once we look at a myriad of once we take all the issues, be it special education, because we didn't really talk about that tonight, and that needs to be revamped. We look at ESL, English as a second language. You listen to students say, hey, this is just a playtime period. We need to address that. We look at how we're funding individual schools. We look at the consistency of policies and how things are done at each school. This district has a lot of potential to be better than what it is. And it's a great district now, but we can achieve so much more.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Mills.
Again, we've touched on a lot of topics, and I feel like it was a lot of the high notes. So I don't know if there's one specific, item that I want to touch on, other than just to say that, this process of running the school district and ensuring that we're doing what's in the best interest of our kids, it's a community effort, and the school board is just one piece to that puzzle. And so we certainly have a role to play as school board members as far as listening to our constituents, whether, again, if it's teachers, parents, taxpayers, and then being that voice to the district and to the school board. But it's certainly a community effort that we all need to be involved in, and we need to listen to the voices of people that have concerns or issues and make sure that we raise those concerns and issues, and that we continue to move the ball forward, so to speak. But again, I know how great this district is. Attended KSD my whole life. My kids go there. I love this district. We chose to raise our family here. And I'm proud to be a part of this process, and I hope to get to represent everybody in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Ms. Purser.
I think one thing that I would like to kind of visit with and touch on is the fact that during the two tremendous crises that we had this school year, we had an admin team that absolutely did above and beyond what they needed to do to make sure that everybody has been able to do their job, that students have been able to go to school, students have been fed, there's been transportation provided. During the winter storm that we had, we need to remember that there were things happening and decisions being made behind the scenes that truly made a difference in lives. When the municipalities reached out to us because they could not get fuel, it was our school district that provided fuel to the municipalities' first responders. When we needed meals provided to the first responders and to families that were unable to get those resources, it was our team of admin that had the staff hired that stood up and came to work and did the job beautifully and did not complain because they knew that they needed to do what was best for the community. So when you talk about the heartbeat of the community, we are the heartbeat of our community. And when times get tough, the school district team, staff, employees, from the transportation, taking people to the school facilities to make sure that if we've got leakage going on and we've got water pipes broken, we've got to be able to cut water off. Those things were happening while we were all trying to build wood fireplaces and, make sure that we stayed warm under our blankets. These people went to work. So I have to commend them and make sure that everybody understands that there was, during these two crises, usually we get one crisis. Our school district we were dealing with two, and we had a fabulous team that came together and did their job, and they have to be commended for that. So good job, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Purser. And Ms. Carter, you get tonight's last word. Well, besides me.
I don't have any additional, I think you guys covered all the bases. You guys asked some pretty tough questions. It was a whole, basically it was a whole spectrum of questions that you guys asked.
We try to be thorough. We're educators after all. So I guess the thing for me that gave me the most hope that I saw were the number of faces that were nodding, even as your opponents or other, the ones running for the other place were speaking. There were a lot of head nods of agreement. And I think that speaks well in terms of overall community unity as we go to move forward. So that was one thing that I personally found very, very encouraging. And on that note, this will conclude our candidate forum. And on behalf of Killeen Educators Association, I'd like to thank all of the candidates for giving their time tonight to speak to us and to you today. Again, for place 6, they're candidates Riakos Adams and Cullen Mills. For place 7, they're candidates Lan Carter and Joanne Purser. I'd also like to thank you for tuning in and listening to our event. And I'd like once more to encourage you to exercise your right to vote. The education of America's children impacts every person in every way. And as the ancient philosopher Pericles said, just because you don't take an interest in politics doesn't mean that politics won't take an interest in you. Early voting runs from April 19th to the 27th, and Election Day is Saturday, May 1st. We thank you very much for watching.